Let us talk fragrances. I am going to talk about the brand Floral. They are a British company with sustainable ingredients and sustainable packaging. They are brilliant if you are vegan and you want a vegan fragrance. Don't have to be vegan, obviously, it's just they're great ethically. I'm going to show you a new purchase that I got today. One of the other fragrances of theirs that I have. I will talk about maybe some of their others, just touch a little bit lightly on them. I'm not sponsored by them at all, obviously this is just an amateur video. Yeah, so let's talk about them, and I'm also going to talk about their packaging and their process, which is fantastic. You can go to the website, read all of this, and they've got this cute little video that you can see. They show you how to make their packages. A brand that are quite not fantastically well known, to be perfectly honest. Their fragrances retail between 24 and 60 pounds currently. They only have two size bottles, that's your 10 ml and your 50 ml, so they are relatively on the pricier edge. Yeah, so, but I don't know, for me personally, I don't tend to try and break bank on fragrances. Like, I really wouldn't buy something that cost me 200 pounds. That's just, no fragrance is worth that personally. Be happy to be gifted that, obviously, but yeah, I'd never buy it. But I do tend to go for the more pricier ones, and that's just because I want good quality. Yeah, so the two that I'm going to talk about are my personal two favorites out of them, but they do have 12 fragrances. They've got like a light line, or like they're all the same line basically, but they have a light fragrance section, and then they've got like their darker ones. So when they do the display, they go from like the lightest ingredients and bottles, I suppose, all the way down to the darkest, most intense things that they've got. The one that I bought today, one of my friends, it's recently been my birthday, and she gifted me, she wanted to basically buy me a gift, but we couldn't meet up, obviously, because of the COVID thing. She works on the front line, so she is wonderful and stunning, and I love her. She gifted me a little bit of money to buy something that she would usually get, and I chose to use some of that money on a new fragrance, which I have adored literally since I first smelt it, and that was only last week. I have been obsessively thinking of it. Yeah, I love fragrance, definitely a shoe-in with that. So I'm gonna show you that one, and that, yeah, so Floral literally just released this year a brand new fragrance, and it's very recent, so like in the middle part of this year, maybe April-ish. I'm not quite sure when they actually released it, but like that's when it came to London basically, and I only got to go in and smell it or try it out last week, and I sat for hours with my hand like this, just like wanting it. So and that's rare for me. I'm super picky when it comes to my fragrances. You can ask my mom, you can ask anybody who's had the misfortune of coming shopping with me. I will drag them into every shop and we will smell as many fragrances as our nose can take, with little coffee breaks in betweens or whatever. I am ridiculously picky. Like, I will smell, I think in my pursuit of replacing one of my perfumes that has been discontinued, and I know that I'm never going to find anything like to replace it, but like something that I'd be excited about to buy. And then in the pursuit of that, I then find other ones that I'm like, yes, I definitely want those. They're not the replacement for this one, but like I love them and I want them. Yeah, I have smelt, researched, gotten samples of hundreds. No word of a lie, hundreds. And yeah, not a lot of them have measured up, to be perfectly honest. I am a stickler. I like good quality. You can be a inspired scent maker. That's perfect as well. I'll totally buy from you, as long as it smells like the fragrance it's supposed to smell like. Whatever, I don't care. But I'm not into super cheap things, like anything in the £20, like 25-ish pounds done. I don't even look at it. It's, yeah, I'm an awful snob when it comes to that. I'm really sorry. And yes, like I say, it's an inspired scent, and it is that scent. It's just got a much happier price tag. So this obviously is brand new-ish company. They do not have any dupes. They do not have any inspired scents. Sorry, they don't, but they're just really good at what they do, and nobody else has been able to do it. So they are a niche fragrance now. They only have the store in Covent Garden. I'm not 100% sure if they have like stores outside of London, but the only ones that I know of in London are Floral Street, their actual store, and then the only other person that I found to sell them in the store where you can go smell them is John Lewis. But everywhere else that sells them only sells them online, in which case you blind buy or you repurchase the bottle you've already had. So this is the fragrance. It's called Arizona Bloom. It is beautiful. It is a home run fragrance. I'm sorry, I love it. I really, really do. And like, for me to say that there's only like, I think there's only like 4 fragrances literally out of the hundreds that I've smelled that I'm like, I love this, I love this, I love this, I love this, and they're high competitors. Other ones have been like, yeah, they're good, okay, that's perfect, whatever. Probably not gonna buy them. I love it, I had to have it. So, and it's rare. If I find a fragrance that I love, it's rare. They are a fantastically ethosed brand as well. They have sustainable ways of making their products, sustainable ingredients, and completely ethical packaging as well. And they are 100% vegan. Every single last one of their fragrances, they've got 12, they're all vegan. This blue outer sleeve is recycled paper. So the packaging and then the little box that they're in is pulp. It's literally pulp. It's pulp made and pressed with water. Ta-da! Done. Great recycled paper, pulp carton, and the flagon that it is in is also, it's like a pulp, not pulp, it's glass, and then the stoppers are metal. So everything is sustainable basically. And then, okay, so we open it quickly. And then it's got a reusable bag that just closes this, but this is completely paper. It's perfect. Like, what a good idea. Everybody should be doing this. I'm sorry, like everybody needs to be getting on this bandwagon. Yeah, we need to be taking the stance. Now, they have the most stunning bottles. They're all exactly the same shape, exactly the same size. The only thing that differs from them are the same fonts, by the way, the same colors, like script colors, everything is exactly the same. There's no like labels, they're just like blasted onto the glass. So everything is like there's no adhesive, there's literally nothing, it's perfect. And the only thing that differs is they've got like a different background. So yeah, you're gonna see what I mean. Their bottles, they're beautiful. They are actually just beautiful. And it's beautiful. Look at it. It's gorgeous. Okay, so this is called Arizona Bloom. It's got a little like picture at the back here. All of the fragrances do this. They've got the clear fluid, and then they've got a picture transfer on the back. Glass, metal, cap, simple. This one, their inspiration for this one apparently was like those sort of like waxy plants in a desert. It's something that they not necessarily smells like Arizona, they just like what they think a desert, an Arizona desert would smell like. That was their inspiration basically. But that's not to mean that you can't find your own nostalgic quality in this. And that for me, I think predominantly is what fragrances need to do for me. Like, I can smell hundreds of fragrances. Yes, they're nice, they're pretty, whatever. I really like these notes, etc., etc. But if they do not take me somewhere or tell me a story, it's very rare that I'm going to be interested. This is how I identify with them. I get these little stories. It's she's this, she's that. This is what it reminds me of. Or this is a nostalgic note. And that's very, very important for me. And I think this is why I'm extremely picky when it comes to my fragrances. So this one, I'm going to just tell you where this one takes me. Okay. She is Zimbabwe for me. She is Africa in the high heat, in the scrub, on safari, with the cicadas in the background, where you just hit with the small breeze of something floral that you cannot quite put your finger on. This is it. She is that. I can hear the birds. I can hear the distant roars of the lions in the background. She is quintessential summer in Africa for me, and I'm in love. I'm in love. She's beautiful. She's absolutely beautiful. I'll tell you what is in her. Nobody has done a pyramid, so you know, top note, heart note, base note. I've not found anybody who does it, so sorry. I can only tell you what's in them. So it's got Balinese coconut, Madagascan black pepper, oak moss, salted musks, jasmine petals, fig leaves, and cashmere woods. So she's not sweet at all. If you don't like those summer fragrances that are zesty or extremely floral or extremely sweet, she's a girl. You're gonna love her. I do, personally, so much that I actually had to buy her, even though I'd only smelled her once before, and I'm still in love, like literally still in love with this fragrance. The other one that I'm going to talk about, and I only have a little bottle of this one, she is my original Floral Street favorite. They've got a lot, like I say, so they're light brands, they're light fragrances. They've got one called Wonderland Peony, beautiful. They've got Electric Rhubarb, which is their release from last year. She's zesty and effervescent. She's beautiful. You're gonna love her if you love like fun fragrances. She's gorgeous. Wild Vanilla Orchid. I like it. I don't love it personally. For me, that one's too sweet. And the vanilla is the very, very last note. So like you've got to wait quite a while for the vanilla. And then they've got London Poppy, which is more of their fruity floral one, and it's very pretty. My mom really likes this one as well. We haven't managed to get her a full bottle yet, unfortunately, but hopefully one day. Then we've got Arizona Boom, which you know we've talked about, and the other one is this beauty over here. Now I've only got a small 10ml bottle. Again, same colors, same font, a little transfer at the back here. Basically a rose with like, I think she's got paint or something splashed on her. Gorgeous. Absolutely, this fragrance is stunning. So, I don't like rose heavy fragrances. For me, unfortunately, you know how like some certain things do weird things on your skin, and it's just to do with your age and the acetone and your climate and a whole lot of other factors. I'm going to sneeze in a second. She is the only one who counteracts what other rose fragrances do on me. I don't mind rose fragrances. They have to be like, they can be somewhere in the pyramid, whatever, or like a small amount, but they cannot be the fragrance. Like it cannot be rose and or rose, you know, because I'll tell you what they do on me. You know, Granny's old potpourri basket in the corner that's had the same petals in it for the last 10 years. It's covered in mold and dust. It hasn't seen the light of day. It hasn't been refreshed. That is what rose does on my skin. Like it goes potpourri, it goes almost artificial on me, and it's really weird, and it's a real pity because rose is stunning in some fragrances. This particular one is the only rose fragrance that is rose, rose, rose that I love. And it stays on my skin, it doesn't change, and that is because it has no roses in it at all. You would never ever say it smells exactly like them. It's ridiculous. Okay, so this one, She Is. You know, again, I'm going to reference Africa because, you know, most of the fragrances, like I say, they have to take me somewhere. They're a bit nostalgic. They can't take me somewhere where I haven't been. So it's Africa for me. In the crisp, cold mornings, and I'm not talking freezing, just cold, that nippy, beautiful weather where you're like sitting on the veranda with a cup of tea in your, and I'm talking about when we're children, in your winter pajamas, your fleecy little nightie, you're sitting on the stoop and you get this waft of roses. Okay, but not roses in full bloom. Those tight buds that are barely there. They're just starting to go pink on the edges or whatever color they're going to be. They've got dew all over them. There's still frost on the grass. That's her. That's what she smells like. I don't know how to explain her in any other way. She doesn't have any roses in her. She does not smell like fully bloomed roses. Her top notes are bergamot, pear, cassis cur, apple blossom, and citroen pepper. Pepper just to tone that top note down. Otherwise it's a little bit too fruity, I suppose. And then the middle notes, your heart notes, cyclamen, which is a little flower, juniper berry, jasmine, and green angelica. Now, I don't know how on earth they've worked angelica into that, or if that gives it its smell. I don't know. I can remember angelica. I hated angelica. My parents used to have it in the freezer. It used to get put on cakes and it used to be spat out. Like, I hated angelica, but I love this. It smells so good as a fragrance. It's ridiculous. And then its base notes are white cedarwood, peach nectar, again crisp amber, and gallibanum, which I don't know what is. Well, I'll look it up at some point. I would definitely go check them out if you are looking for a zero footprint vegan fragrance that has both light and dark, fun and sensual. You're gonna love this brand. Definitely go look at them. All right, that's it for this video. I have another one coming of the ones that I own, not necessarily follow suit, and it's just an opinion of the ones I have.